All right, Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, you know I like my toys. You know I like my toys. Ema, I can't hear you.
I said Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody in the Hebrew world. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For some reason, the link I shared is not working. I don't know why. Let me go and do it again so that the people on YouTube can get in.
This is the twins?
Yes. This is saying okay, it's a little bit of a pause. Okay, I don't know why that is, but I like that. A little countdown. Yeah, let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. Okay. All right, Ema. You with me, Ema?
KAIN.
Borakim Likulam. To our second half, we thank you for being here. May the Most High be praised. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, Zamaria, turn around and sit up, baby, before you fall. Thank you, baby girl. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Here we are. We back again doing our thing. This is what we do. Serve the people of the Almighty. All right. It's now the 4 o'clock hour. So what we do in this second portion is we open up by giving a commandment. Everybody take the time, give a law, statute, and a commandment. You cannot say any of the first 10 commandments, but you can say any of the other commandments. Shabbat Shalom, Chief. Shabbat Shalom. You cannot say any of the 10 commandments, except you're a child. If you're a child, then you can do any of the 10 commandments. But if you're a teenager in adulthood or elder, you cannot do any of the 10. How we look, sis? That's good? Okay. All right. So who would like to be first? Who would like to be first to recite their commandment? Shabbat Shalom, Sister Sakari. I'm in the wrong. Shabbat Shalom. All right, let me do something real quick. There you go. Got to change it up a little bit. You know, we got to bring a little flavor to the house. Change it up a little bit. The second half of class. There we go. All right. So you don't get it mixed up with the first half. Well, I don't see anybody posting any commandments, and I don't hear anyone saying anything. So maybe I should give my commandment. Maybe I should be first. Y'all like that? You want me to go first? All right, I'm going to go first because I ain't got time to be waiting around when people be slow motion. And if ain't nobody still ain't ready when I finish my commandment, we could just go into the lesson of the day. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. How about that? Can I get away with that one? No? So y'all don't want to, y'all ain't trying to accept my commandments, huh?
Baby-ish.
Didn't you say I was your baby earlier today? You said I was your baby, so I'm giving you a baby commandment now. All right. 3 times a year, all males shall appear before the Most High, the Sovereign King. 3 times a year. That's a commandment. The first time of year is the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is the 15th day of the month. The next one is the Feast of Weeks, which is the 15th day of the month. And the very last one is what y'all? Feast of Sukkot, Tabernacle. The Feast of Tabernacle, the Feast of Sukkot. Each one of those are Chag, and each one of those occur on the 15th day of the month. Each one of those should appear under a full moon. May the Most High be praised. To the Rabbah. So those are my commandments, y'all. If you build a house and dedicate that house to the Most High, it is sanctified indeed. If you go to redeem the house and you want it back, then the priest has to put a amount to it. You have to put a third to whatever the priest adds, and then you can redeem the house. Any questions, any comments, family?
No.
All right. So I just gave all my commandments. Is anybody else giving a commandment? And if not, we can get started with the lesson.
I have one. Exodus, in the book of Exodus, chapter 12.
You have a lot of noise going on in the background. I don't know what it is, though.
I don't know either. There's no noise in here. But I'm in Exodus chapter 12, verse 10 through 11. And it says, "Ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning." I'll read from 9. Well, I guess actually I need to read from 7. It's really a long commandment, but it says, "And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses, wherein they shall eat of it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs thou shalt eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodding at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the purtenance thereof. Ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. That which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus shall you eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. You shall eat it in haste. It is the Most High's Passover." So I began reading where it talked about how we are supposed to cook the lamb for Passover. And it says not sodded with water. That means not boiled, not cut up in pieces like barbecued on a grill, but cooked whole, roasted under fire. And a lot of times when we think about that, that means we cut it up now because it's easier to do it like that. But truly, it's supposed to be bored through with a rod and then put over fire, like one of those turning things where you can turn it while it's cooking over the fire. And then it also says you eat it at the same time with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. And the part that I really liked or stuck out to me was he said, "And thus shall eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Most High's Passover." So it just letting us know that when our ancestors, our forefathers and foremothers ate of it, they ate it ready to go. They were fully dressed, shoes on, staffs in their hands, their clothes girded so that they could eat it. And they ate it in haste. So they didn't have a gourmet meal for Passover. It wasn't where they was, dressed up and just chilling and, having just any old conversation. They were on the move. The Most High told them to be ready to leave at that certain point. And it began when he talked about he put the blood, he's going to put the blood on the door posts of those who he wants, who is of his, so that the death angel wouldn't come in. So that's pretty much the gist of what I read, those verses.
May the Most High be praised. To the Rabbah. Yeah, that's so much to talk about right there.
Mm-hmm.
So much to talk about. It's a lot. Back to the first part. When you hear stuff like this, you should put yourself in that place where you can actually feel it. Put yourself there and actually be there. Yes? Not yet. Just hold on to it, okay? Put yourself there so you can actually imagine being at that location at the time of the giving of that law. or at the time of performing whatever that requirement of that law was. So the first thing you mentioned was about the actual Passover lamb. When you kill it, you ain't supposed to cut it up. You're supposed to put it on a stick and turn it and cook it whole. That takes a long time to do, but that's how we're supposed to be doing it this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to start being on the lookout for the equipment so we can do it properly, have it at the right height above the fire so it cooks evenly, and we got to take turns turning it because that John gonna take all day. If they got an electronic roaster, let us know. We'll get the electronic one, so we ain't got to stand there all day and turn it. It'll turn on its own. That'd be a good thing. But we
Yeah, I
need to,
saw it on Amazon.
you saw one?
Yeah, I think so. When I looked last year for different ones, I saw a few different ones. So I'm gonna look again.
Well, you should get one strong enough to hold up a lamb.
Mm-hmm. At least
Actually,
100 pounds.
is that it? Why are we talking about money today?
I said 100 pounds.
Ah,
The weight of the lamb.
she one of them Israelites. Talk about money on the Shabbat.
No,
She
what?
got money expensive.
Everybody who knows me knows I'm not that Israelite. I'm not worried about that.
All right. So we'll deal with it after, all right? But we have to hurry up and order one. We have to hurry up and get one so we can have that part of the holy day already accomplished, already set up. All right?
Okay.
All right. But that was a very good commandment that you gave. And then the second part of your commandment that you spoke of was about experiencing it. You know, the real reality part of it. Come on. Amos coming in. Come on. Shalom. All right. The reality part, the other part was the reality part about the actual experience. The experience of performing the service is an amazing thing. Shabbat shalom, Mr. Otter.
Shabbat shalom, Prince.
All right, Shabbat shalom. It's an amazing thing to actually go through that process of
Rubbish. Drop your pizza. Thank you. Come on, back out.
being out there, cooking it, roasting it, eating it. You know, it's a big experience. Being a part of it, you know, the whole event is a powerful thing. Putting the blood on the doorpost of your house. And I'm talking about the original time when it was done in the land. Powerful thing. So just to hear you even mention it and bring it about, it brings back great memories of how spiritual felt it was to be keeping the Pesach. Good thing. All right.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say when I read that part, I don't think sometimes when I've been reading that part forever, but today for some reason it just stood out to me how that's another sign that the Most High shows you about being prepared, because He didn't say like eat it in haste and your clothes like when you get out of bed. He was like, He basically told them to gird their loins, have their shoes on, like have everything ready, have your staff in your hand. That meant whatever you was taking with you, have it right there, and you can't go back to the house later to get it. You can't, like, it kind of reminds me like when we do it now, and I'm like during that time, I get very anxious, not because I know we already went through the whole Passover with our ancestors, right? But I still get anxious because I feel like we're preparing. And so we all know that Passover is just that slither of time. And so I get very anxious, and I get upset too and bothered when we go past that time and then we're just lollygagging into class. I mean, into services for Passover and eating the lamb hours later or the bitter herb. because I just feel like we're not taking that moment seriously, you know? And so for me, it's like, if we were truly in the land, those people would be gone. They would be left, killed, something, because they were not prepared. And because we sat there and took our time waiting for people versus like saying, no, like we have to take this seriously. Like this was a moment of life or death for our people, right? And so I know for me, it's like, I don't know, like even right now, just thinking about it, it's anxiety because it's like just thinking about what they were going through at that moment and thinking about how we just take it like, okay, yeah, like it's nothing, but it was big. It was huge. It was like life. And we just act like, oh yeah, it's just Passover again. But it's not just Passover again. Like we actually are, this is where we have the privilege and the humbleness, the honor to relive, to reenact something that our ancestors did. And we just take it for granted. We take it like it's light work, but it's really heavy work and important work at that. So I just think like if we're going to practice certain things, we got to be on time with it. And I think that's so important about time management. And that's why we get up early and slaughter the lamb so that we have time to be able to cook it so it's prepared and ready before Passover comes in. So many people, I've been to so many Passovers where they're still cooking the lamb throughout the night. And I'm like, there's no way that y'all was gonna make it, you know? And yeah, like I said, it's just making me anxiety. I'm anxious about it even now, and it just makes me feel really bothered when we look at our history as if it's a joke. And maybe we don't, but we treat it like it's a joke when we don't take it seriously, when we don't be on time, when we don't prepare. And right there in that one passage, the Most High was telling you how to be prepared. Else, you know, that could have been the end of you. So, is that who?
All right. May the Most High be praised. Total Rabah. Rain Azante. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Y'all can hear me?
Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
All right.
Doing well, Abba.
Trying to maintain. That's great. All right.
I guess since you didn't call me, I can go to get my law.
Okay, then no problem. You got it.
Okay, so my law today is coming from Deuteronomy chapter 7. And I want to read all of them, but I'm just going to do verses 2 and 3. It says, and when the Most High thy Elohim shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Verse 3, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Verse 4, and I'm closing. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve after other Elohim. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. What this law is stating, when the Most High, he was saying, when he brings us into a certain land, when he brings us into the land he's given us to possess it, you know, he's going to cast out 7 nations. And these 7 nations that he speaks of in the first verse, he says that once he casts them out, we are to destroy everything that they have. We are to make no covenants, no deals, no barters, no system, nor even show mercy unto them. We don't have no marriages with them. We don't give our sons over to them, our daughters over to them, because they're going to turn our minds, our spirits, our hearts after other Elohim. And then he says, and by us doing so, the anger of the Most High is going to be kindled against us, you know. And so this is something that came into my spirit earlier today, because as a nation, you know, we have a problem. Idolatry has always been our biggest problem. And, you know, if we were to revert back to this scripture and understand the severity of it, the seriousness of it, you know, there are certain things that we would not even entertain. There are certain things, certain new age spiritualities that we would not even that we wouldn't even think to possibly, you know, just entertain, give any energy to it. We are supposed to destroy all these things. And a lot of the things we see today, the nations that were named in the first verse, a lot of these nations practice these different types of witchcraft, these different types of idolatries. So he didn't want us having any dealings with them. You know, our sons would be, if our sons was given to their daughters, you know, they would be producing, you know, the seed of those people. Likewise, if our daughters were given to their sons, our daughters were created to produce more Israelites, and so we would be, you know, producing more. We would be producing more wickedness out into the world. So the Father told us to not make any covenants with them, no nothing. Destroy everything that they have, and let everything that they have perish. So that's my law for today.
All right. May the Most High be praised. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
That picture you got on your screen, is that the Sasquatch?
Is that the what?
Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Oh, low. No, that's just a picture of nature. Now it looks like something though. Now that you say that, you're talking about right in here.
Yeah,
Well,
like a Bigfoot sitting there with
oh
his.
no.
Okay.
It do look like Bigfoot sitting thinking about something. I can see
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
right.
Low. No, it's I think it's a piece of moss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, nah, cool. You had me looking at it twice because I didn't have it, my screensaver for a minute now. So
Yeah, I know. I look at it all the time and think the same thing. Just now, I blew it up. So I had to ask that question. But back to the commandment. Who are those nations that the Most High tell us not to assimilate with?
the nations are the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Pezerites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. It says 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
All right. Would the Canaanites be African?
I would say so. I would say that the Canaanites would be the Africans we know to be, you know, the indigenous. Well, let me not use the word indigenous, but when I say indigenous, I mean like, you know, the African tribes. You know what I mean? We know the difference between us and the Africans. You know, the Africans that practice, you know, the spirituality, the ones that have they have all of the different polytheism. You know, all the different gods, and they do a lot of the um, uh, eating of like cow's blood and all of these different things. These are things that still been practiced today by them. So I would say so. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
We go talk. Meanwhile, while I'm taking his sister's comment, turn to the 10th chapter of the book of Genesis, find the name of Canaan, and look at his children. Come up, please.
I was gonna say that.
Oh, that's what your grade said?
Yeah, I was gonna say Canaan is the descendant of Ham, which he comes
Say
from
that
the
again?
Hamites. The descendant of Ham. So he comes from the Hamite lineage, and Canaan would be under the Hamite lineage, which is the father of the dark races except the Negroes, which is us. So,
Try that again. Come a little closer so everybody can hear you. ahead.
Ham is the father of Canaan,
Uh-huh.
and Ham is the progenitor or the father of the dark races except the Negro or except the Yahudim, which is us.
Okay.
So all the other dark races or dark skin toned people descend from Ham, and Canaan is a son of Ham, which is also where Mitzrayim and like Egypt comes from.
So what about Yahweh? Who they got the white people or light skinned people?
Yeah, they get the Ashkenazis and
Oh, really?
the ones who are pretending to be us in the country right now.
And what about the regular white man?
Well,
Where
he
they
comes
come
from the
from?
Caucasus Mountains somewhere. I don't
So he's none of Noah's sons?
I think he's from Japheth too.
Oh, he's from Japheth too?
I think. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
He was somewhere in the caves though. I know that.
Somewhere in the cave. Very good. Thank you. Y'all heard that, right? All right.
Hey.
All right. So what's your explanation, bro? What you wanted to tell me?
Oh no, you told me to pull Genesis.
Yes, the 10th chapter.
Cain, I'm here.
You found Canaan?
Okay, yeah, Cain. So it says, well, let me get the exact verse. Okay, so it says, start at verse 1. It says, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, and
I
Javan.
want to know about Canaan's sons.
Okay, hold on 1 second. It says, and the sons of Ham, Cush, Mitzrayim, and Put, and Canaan. Yes, sir. Of Ham.
All right. So read that again.
What?
The sons of Ham are who?
The sons of Ham are Cush, Mitzrayim, Put, and Canaan.
So are Africans Canaanites? Yes or no?
They would be Shemites.
No, they wouldn't be. Read
I
it
mean,
again.
not Shemites. I'm sorry, not Shemites. They would be they would be Hamites.
They would be Hamites. They would not be Canaanites. They are Hamites.
Okay.
Right. Very good. Very good. So where the Africans come back on that lineage? Which one of those children, if you know, are the fathers of the Africans?
Looking at the different sons. I mean, I would just have to take a guess, but I would just have to say maybe Cush. But you have to correct me on that. I don't know. I can't say what exact son that the Africans come from, but that would just be, a guess. I know they come from Ham, but I can't say exactly. So you have to correct me on that.
Come from Ham, but the Africans are usually known under Mitzrayim. The Egyptians, Mitzrayim, is usually covering Africa. But Cush, you're correct with Cush, and Canaan, you will be correct with Canaan. All of them are this in that area, that general region of Africa. Cushite, Ethiopian. Canaanites is the ancient Canaanites where we get the Hebrew language from because we all live intertwined together. You follow me?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because Abraham was in the land of Canaan, right?
That's right. That's right. All right. Babylonians, that's Canaan.
Okay. And I know the Africans, they have many different tribes, so that makes sense that they fit somewhere in there. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of tribes in there.
Primarily, the Africans are Mitzrayim, primarily, but as was stated earlier, they all mingled in there because they was all together. May the Most High be praised to her above. All right.
I have a question. Aren't some African tribes? Oh, sorry.
Mr. Otter, what you doing? You want that one up or you want the other one up? Okay, Mr. Otter went back to the other one. I don't know what you're doing, Mr. Otter. Whatever you say, just shot me back in when you're ready. Go ahead, Ishi. My apologies.
No, it's okay. So luckily, aren't some African tribes Israelites?
No African tribe is Israelites. We have Israelites who live in Africa, but they're not African.
Okay, so if I'm to understand this correctly, the Most High basically said for us to not deal with an entire continent of people, the Africans.
Several nations of those people, many of them live within. There's many different nations that live within the land of Africa, per se, that we call Africa, Al-Kabulan, the ancient land of our forefathers. It wasn't congealed just with that little region that they have today that they call Africa. It was much bigger. It was way bigger. Matter of fact, some of the Middle East that they call the Middle East was all a part of Africa. Okay? The Suez Canal is what they use to separate Africa from the Middle East. Those are the things that they have going on. But you have to research and study all those things to find out the truth of it because they hide a lot of those things. Africa is like 4 or 5 times the size of what's that European nation over there? Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Europe, Russia, 4 or 5 times that size. It's huge, right?
So the Most High is saying for us to dismiss certain tribes in Africa versus all the people of Africa.
Yes, he names them specifically. He names the tribes of people that you're supposed to stay away from. But the thing is, we don't know those tribes today. All we know is African. So if the brother's from Africa, more than likely you separate yourself from them. But you got to remember that Africans have a distinction about their structure. They look different. They don't just look like regular black people. They stand out. They look different. But don't worry about all that right now. You got a Hebrew husband, so you could.
Can I say something about that?
Yes.
So when we do research though, like the Igbo people who are in Nigeria, they are Hebrew. So like you gotta just look at the different countries because as you said, there are distinct looks. But because it was such a big mixture, you really just have to study the origin of certain countries and certain religious beliefs in that country. Like my father told me that the land where my family is from in Ghana, which is called Larte, in the mountains, when he did his research, he said we are originally from the Yehuda tribe because that's where our family came from when Judah fled and hid from the Assyrians in the trees and killed them. He said those were our lineage. So it's like, and that's in Africa, but that's why you have to really research each country by, each country in the continent, but not just by what they call Africa, like you said. Plus, part of Africa with the rivers and how they did things split the continent because at one point it was way bigger than what they show us right now, and more countries and things were connected to that continent. So it's a lot of research. But what I do know is a lot of Israelites, instead of doing research, they just say Africans, period. And they don't even understand what the definition of being an African is. And they don't even use what you just what Benazante brought out, that law of those tribes, to even associate, the African tribes to what the creator said. So there's a lot of research that has to be done, and not just, saying it's just this one continent or Africans, period. So,
Hey, may I say something too, Abba?
Go ahead.
I promise I'm about to wrap it up. So on the same topic too, another way to point out too, because a lot of our people are still in, Africa. And one thing you can point to as well, like Ima said, is the culture, the customs, because a lot of our people that are still over in Africa, if you search hard enough, like the Igbo, you'll see that they still keep the customs of the Torah, and there's other different, I know there's places in Nigeria, places in Ghana where there are, black people or so-called black people that are still keeping the customs of the Torah still to this day. You know what I mean? Even closer to how a lot of the Hebrews here keep it, So
All right. May the Most High be praised.
I may have missed something, but where it is prophesied that Israelites would be scattered all over the world, did we mention that, identifying a particular area or people as not Israel would mean that we're not recognizing that the scattering has occurred?
Asa, I'm gonna have you restate that question in 1 minute.
I just want to know if it was already mentioned that
I don't
because
fully understand your question, but just give me 1 minute and we'll address that issue. All right?
yes.
Thank you, sis.
I just wanted to land back off of what Princess and Azante were saying, because we've been through several different captivities as a nation.
Closer.
Okay. We've been through several different captivities as a nation. And in one particular captivity or one particular, conquest that happened with our people before this current captivity was that a lot of us fled to that part of Africa that is now what previously was known as Negro land. And a lot of us were concentrated in that area. And this is how they basically found us. And then, the whole transatlantic slave trade came about. So as Azante Tyreek was saying, there are still a lot of Hebrews in the continent of Africa, my family being some of those. And in Cameroon, we are right underneath Nigeria. And Nigeria and Cameroon actually used to be one country, and then we split up. But my family actually does customs that are still biblically based. They do customs that are based in Torah. And I didn't know any of this. So me coming into the walk, not even into the walk, but disengaging myself from like JC and God and things like that, I started to use the name Yah, only because I knew Rastafari said Jah, but I also knew that the letter J was not in conjunction. So it was just something that came to me. So I started saying Yah. And my mother asked me one day why I was calling him Yah. And I told her, and she said, well, your grandmother calls him Yahweh. And that just led to a whole rabbit hole as well. So yeah, we are definitely scattered abroad. There are still some of us that are there. And in doing my research, I actually discovered that my people, we are the Takar people, and we are not native to that Cameroonian land. We migrated to that Cameroonian land to escape certain persecutions, as we already know, in many captivities. So in looking at that and researching and doing digging and finding out my history, I discovered that we are not native to that land. And even now in Cameroon, we are being separated from the original, the indigenous Cameroonians. And there's a big war that's happening because we came in and, you know, the favor be dripping on Yahudim. And so like we were taking over infrastructure and things like that. And they do not like that. And so now there is a huge war, a huge conflict going on between certain parts of Cameroon with the Cameroonians that were indigenous to the land and us that came into Cameroon. And there's a whole bunch of conflict and problems, which is also, you know, prophesied and stated in the scriptures. So just to add a little bit of that onto that.
All right.
I'm sorry. Zakaria, remember I told you that that tribe is the same tribe my mom is from too.
Yes, kind.
And one thing I did, my family did go back to Larteh, where my family's from, and like Zakaria was saying, the traditions are still kept. Some of the cultures are still kept. Like if where my family actually still lives, there's still a throne there that is guarded, you know, by the people, by our family there. And the crazy thing, when my cousin went, she said, and my sister went, I haven't gone yet, but I want to, that the sister who actually guards the throne where our for our lineage, for our heritage, right, is named after me and my sister. Like they have the same names, not named after us, but like they carry the names that we carried when my father named us at birth. And so it just shows you how, you know, that's another reason why names are so powerful in the history, knowing your history. But the culture is still there. And that's one of my that's always been my biggest fight, I guess, in this walk, is how Israelites are so ready to just throw Africa away, and they don't even realize their own culture. Like I've had people tell me I'm not African, and then I look at them and I'm like, you look just like an African though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my thing is, you're only not African because you don't know what part of or what tribe you may be from, but you're stuck on what somebody else told you as an African. So, you know, just to reiterate, it's really important that we do our history, we do our research, and not just lump everything in a bowl, like how we are lumped in a bowl over here, or all Black people do the same thing or look alike. And we all have, you know, similarities. But the key is looking at which tribe, what culture, you know, you're from. So, say who.
All right. May the Most High be praised. Hold up a second. All right. Brother Asa?
Yes, Prince. I feel so left out that, you know, I do not know which tribe I'm from. You know, I wish I could say, well, I'm from this location or that, but my name is Asa, so I accept that it's a Hebrew name. So, you know, that is my connection. But I think that the point that I wanted to raise was addressed in saying that, you know, the Hebrews are scattered all over the world, and so we are to be conscious, you know, in saying, you know, not that place, that area does not have any linkage to the line. Right. So that's it basically. I'll share my commandment whenever I get a chance.
All righty. May the Most High be praised. Yo.
It's chapstick.
Okay, Dawid, come up here, man.
This was dry.
Good.
And he shall take off his garments.
Can y'all hear him?
No.
KAIN.
Oh.
And he shall take off his garments others come and clean the ashes outside to a clean place.
Very good. So tell me what that means.
He says it because linen is has a frequency of 5,000. Also, wool does, but wool moves the opposite way, and if you wear them together, then it cancels it out, and that's also why he tells us not to mix fabrics.
All right. Very good. May the Most High be praised. Total Rabbah. All right. You wear them together, you cancel them out. They mean zero. That's worse than death. All right. May the Most High be praised. And the way we met. What are you talking about, Ima? Let me go on mute, give you the floor.
I was responding to a comment, babe. It's okay.
You responding to a comment.
Yes.
I must have missed that comment, but okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Sister Sukari.
Sister Sakari's law can be found in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. You are not to hate your brother in your heart. You are to reprove your neighbor so that you do not be in sin on his account. We should confront issues directly so it's not resented. Hold on. So it's not a resentment.
May the Most High be praised. Torah Rabbah. I like the part about confronting it.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that it happened, the time that it takes place, you should confront it and deal with it so you're not carrying that in your spirit. All right. May the Most High be praised. Come on up. Samaria. Come on, Samaria. Samaria has a commandment. She said I can call her that, y'all, so don't be mad. Go ahead.
My commandment was do not murder.
Do not murder? What does that mean?
That means that you shouldn't kill people just because they did nothing.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah. She said that means you shouldn't kill people just because they did nothing. All right. Mr. Otter, you said you had a commandment? You ready, Mr. Otter? Oh, he dropped off right when it was his turn. Okay. Brother Asa, you about ready?
Yes, yes, Prince. My commandment is coming from Numbers chapter 29, verse 7 and 8. It's actually two commandments. And on the 10th day of this 7th new moon, you have a set apart gathering. You shall afflict your beings, you do no work. That's one. And two, and you shall bring near an ascending offering to the Most High, a sweet fragrance, one young bull, one ram, 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones they are for you, and their grain offerings, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the full bull, 2/10 for this ram, 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, one male goat as a sin offering, besides the sin offering for atonement, the continual ascending offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. That's my commandments.
And your interpretation?
And my interpretation is just a reminder, as I am recognizing Yom Kippur today, that I'm to have a set apart gathering and I'm to bring an additional offering. And that the offering that I bring must be the best.
Read that. Where are you reading that from?
Oh, Numbers 29, 7 and 8.
And where does it say that that's for the Day of Atonement?
On the 10th day of the 7th new moon.
Go ahead, read it again. I'm sorry. Read it again.
Okay. He says, on the 10th day of the 7th new moon, you have a set apart gathering, and you shall afflict your beings. You do no work. Right. So that is for Day of Atonement.
Yes, but where does it say about bringing an offering?
Oh, and you shall bring near an ascending offering to the Most High.
And that's in that same chapter, same verse?
That's the adjoining verse, because verse ends with a comma
Yeah,
and it moves on to verse 8.
hold on a second. I think you're teaching me something right now. I need to see that. Okay, tell me where that is.
Okay, it's Numbers 29, verses 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Numbers 29.
Yes.
All right, let me start at verse 1. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, let me present this so the family can see it, because I don't want nobody in the waiting and can't see it share. All right. Can y'all see that? Is it showing?
Not yet. This is got a little bit of a lag. There it goes.
Yes, it's showing.
All right, is it visible? You can read it? All right. In the 7th month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing of the trumpets. All right. Where does we start talking about Pesach? All right, verse 7. And ye shall have on the 10th day of this month, of this 7th month, a holy convocation, and ye shall afflict your soul. Ye shall not do any work therein, but ye shall offer a offering made. You shall offer a burnt offering unto the Most High, your Creator, for a sweet Savior, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish. And their meat offering shall be mingled honey, 3/10 deals of bullock, and 2/10 deals of 1 ram, a several 10th deal of 1 lamb throughout the 7th lamb, 1 kid of the goat for a sin offering, besides the offering of atonement, and a continual burnt offering, and the meat offering of it, and their drink offering. Wow. And Moshe said, speak unto the children of Israel. Also in the 10th day of this 10th month, there shall be a day of atonement, and it shall be a holy convocation unto you. You shall afflict your souls, an offering made by fire. So that offering made by fire is explained in Numbers 29. And ye should do no work in the same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make atonement for you before the Most High your Elohim. For whosoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall cut him off from among his people. And whatever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, that soul shall I destroy from among his people. Ye should do no manner of work. It should be a statute forever throughout your generations in all of your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your soul in the 9th day of the month at eve. From even till even shall you celebrate your Shabbat. Till the Rabbah. All right, brother. Thank you for bringing that out to me. Now here go the part where I was being educated on. I did not know that there was an offering that we made on the Day of Atonement. Now let me clear it up for you so you all understand me. The original Passover, yes. The one when we had the high priest and he did all that, I understood fully that there was an offering made at that time. But all the memorials of a Passover that we have, I did not know that we were supposed to bring a burnt offering to the Creator. So that just opened my eyes up to that, and I'm grateful. Thank you for that, brother.
Yes, and you're welcome. And what I did not know is that if I afflict my soul, and affliction is said to be fasting, why is it these additional offerings are offered, some of which are eaten?
Well, none of those you have to concern yourself with, because you don't have a high priest. The high priest did those offerings, not you, not the individual that was fasting. The high priest did that. He did it for the people. He did it for his household. He did it for the altar. He did it for various different reasons. That's why it was so many, and that's why it was necessary.
Right. And what about the eating?
I'm sorry, say it again.
And what about the eating versus the affliction of your soul? Because
you didn't eat it.
No, I know, but the priest would have eaten, or the priest's family.
Yes, they ate it, not you.
So how did they afflict their soul while eating?
So what?
how did they end up afflicting their soul and eating at the same time?
Because they were commanded to do this, and it didn't say when they had to eat it. When you're using the most holy things as an offering, like the Day of Atonement, usually you have 3 days that thing has to be consumed. It has to be consumed by the third day. If it's not consumed by the third day, it has to be burnt with fire. Right? So it doesn't mean that they had to eat it on that day. They could have waited till the sun went down and ate it the next day. But they had to consume it, they themselves.
Thank you.
You're welcome. May the Most High be praised. All right, Mr. Otter. Let's see what you got for us, Mr. Otter.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Can I be heard?
You can be heard. Shabbat shalom.
All right, so my law today is in Leviticus chapter 15, verse 19. And it reads, if a woman has a discharge and the discharge from her body is blood, she shall be set apart 7 days. And so whoever touches her shall be unclean unto the evening. Everything that she lies on during her impurity shall be unclean. Also, everything that she sits on shall be unclean. And here's the banger. Whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And whoever touches anything that she sat on shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until the evening. And if anything is on her bed or on anything on which she sits, when he touches it, he shall be unclean until the evening. So basically, I brought that to say we have to watch. That's a law. That's a law that we have to go by. It's not in the 10 Commandments, but it's a law we got to live by. And we got to watch what we sit on in public. Me, I don't sit on trains. I don't sit on buses. I don't take planes for the simple fact that I would have to wash my clothes, everything I have on, and my body before sundown. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the law there. We got to watch what we sit on in public. That's a law that a lot of people overlook too. You know, sitting on unclean things and not washing after before sundown. So that's my law there, Prince.
Absolutely correct. Most people ignore that law as if it doesn't exist. Most people right now today is in the house of worship fully unclean. Either they touched the dead body and never asked the Creator to cleanse them, never went through the ritual process or a mock process even. Either they just had a baby and they got the baby within the days of their purification in the house of worship. And leadership don't say nothing. They don't know nothing. Everybody can quote the law, but very few people are actually going to do the law. It's so many different things that, man, that guy behind, but is that, man, I don't even know if I'm messing with you, bro. I don't even know if I'm dealing with you right now. You've been missing in action, man. I can't hear you, bro. You got to go get your own phone and set your own stuff up. I don't know what you're saying, man. You on mute.
You're mute.
Go ahead.
My brother, I was with my brother Shama. We was talking. We was going there. We was building. Next week, I'm pulling up. Promise.
For 3 weeks?
Nah, yeah. After teachers, me and him go in. But next week, I got you. Next week.
I'm throwing him up, Prince. He told me to take his spot for now.
No, I ain't say that. I'm coming next week. Next week.
All right, no problem. Shalom.
I'm at you sundown, bro.
All right, so there we go. And that's how that thing go. So, any questions? Any comments? All right, so I have a question for you then. Can you hear me?
Okay.
All right, Mr. Otter. So let's say this woman, right? She comes on her cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And she becomes unclean. And then she don't stop bleeding, and it's 8 days and she's still bleeding. And then the 9th day come in and she stopped bleeding on the 9th day. What is the process according to the Torah? If you know, if you don't know, it's okay. But what is the process that she's supposed to follow if her menstrual goes off outside of the days of her regular cycle?
Well, if she's bleeding, once a woman starts bleeding, she have to count 7 days. If she bleeds past the 7th day, stop counting and wait for the bleeding to stop. Once the bleeding stops, then you count 7 days. And on the 7th day, it's a purification process you go through, and then you're clean after that.
I say you sharp, man. You sharp. That's cool. You sharp. I like that.
I'll be fine.
You're absolutely right, man. But do you know how many people don't understand that law, don't follow that law, but yet teach that? They teach it, but they don't follow it.
You're right.
We go so far that our women don't even cook for us when they're on their menstrual.
Absolutely.
Don't even cook our food.
Absolutely.
That's why I believe that your family is a Levitical family. I do. I believe that. I believe that. I tell your brother that all the time, man.
Baruch Shemo.
All right. May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah.
Friends, Torah.
Shalom. All right. Ishi, you ready for your commandment, Ishi? She said we still in her commandment, man.
Y'all just did her commandment. She said she's baby to sleep.
Oh, so she okay. All right.
So her co-autumn law can be found in Leviticus, Vayikra, chapter 15, verse 25 through 28. Let me pull it up because that's not it. Just pull it up real quick.
Come on. Hey, you okay? All right. Toda. My apologies.
All right. Leviticus 19, chapter 19 verses, chapter 15, verse 25 through 28. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lieth all the days of her issue. Sorry, it skipped. Every bed whereon she lieth all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. And whatsoever she sitteth upon shall be unclean as the uncleanliness of her separation. And whosoever toucheth those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And her explanation is, these laws, if I'm understanding correctly, say that if a woman has an issue of blood past her usual time of cycle, then all the days she's still bleeding is unclean. Once the bleeding stops, she must count 7 additional days, and on the 8th day she'll be clean after offering a service.
All right, let me address this for a minute. These laws, if I'm understanding correctly, says that if a woman has an issue of blood past her usual time of cycle. Let's say this. Here's an example. Say this woman menstrual, nida, comes on. Then her nida goes off. She went through her regular cycle 8 days. She's still in that same month. 4 days later, she have an issue of blood. And that issue of blood lasts 2 days. Or she might be spotting and it lasts for 2 days. No sexual intercourse, no nothing. She just starts spotting, and that spotting lasts for 2 days, and then it stops. Is she unclean or is she not unclean?
She's unclean.
And if she's unclean, when does she start counting her days of purification?
When she no longer sees any blood.
That's right. After she stops bleeding, that's when she begins to count. And she has to count 8 days. On the 8th day is when she's clean. 7 complete days. And then on the 8th day, she's clean. Y'all sharp, man. Y'all just got this thing down pat. Y'all very good.
But but we don't do sacrifices. I know she put that in there. So because I know when we're unclean now, we don't do a sacrifice. I know in the book, when we're on the land.
Let's talk about this for a minute. Because we can do a sacrifice. It doesn't mean we have to slaughter an animal to make a sacrifice. You could bring an offering to the Most High instead of a sacrifice. You can offer up a prayer instead of a sacrifice. There are many different ways that you can offer a sacrifice to the Creator and be perfectly in alignment with His will. All right? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to bring an animal. Although bringing an animal will be a good thing, it doesn't necessarily mean that's what you have to do. All right?
Yeah. Well, okay. I hear what you're saying, but all right, we'll talk about that. But she brought up this. I think it says that's a good question. I was actually thinking that because women's blood cycle can vary per month, sometimes 3 days blood, sometimes 1 day, sometimes full 7 days blood. So would it be that if her blood goes past 7 days?
Yeah, she have to wait till it stop, and then she start counting for the 8 days. All right? Yes, A. You want to come up?
What about girls? Because there's and it's been on my mind because there's girls nowadays, right, that have been sort of like perpetually unclean because of issues with blood issues. They've been having like periods for extended period of time, more than 7 days, more than 2 weeks, maybe over a month, and due to maybe hormonal issues, and they can't seem to be able to, get that worked on. I mean, how do we deal with?
Do you want to stay here while I answer the question, or do you want to sit down?
I'll sit down.
All right. Turn her by. That's a very good question. Now, what I've learned, I have 4 Nashim, 4 of them. And believe me, I have some older ones and I got some younger ones. So I've learned some things a time or two dealing with them. And one wife, many years ago though, when I was like 21, 39 3/4 now, so maybe about 20. Yeah. So one wife had a menstrual cycle that lasted, if it wasn't a month and a half, it wasn't a day. Just constant bleeding. And this is going to get a little technical, so I'm going to have to word certain things a certain way because we do have children. So she went to the doctor that you go see for that. And what they wanted to do, they told her that they need to scrape the walls of her uterus to try to cleanse it. That's what they tell you. To try to clean the walls of your uterus, they want to scrape it to get the excess dirt and all that stuff, talking about blood or cycle, women's cycle, so that they can cleanse it up and that should stop it from flowing, and it don't. There's a home natural way that you can do it with cayenne pepper, but it's going to burn.
You put it up there?
Yes, cayenne, like what you get a douche bag and you put the cayenne pepper in the water, warm water, and you squirt it up there. Cayenne pepper ceases blood from flowing.
It does.
That's one way to do it. The safest way that I know to do it, and the most effective way that I know to do it, change your diet. That hormone balance that you're speaking about, Aim, is because you're putting all these chemicals in your body and they're not working properly with your body, so it's causing you to flush your system. And that's what's happening. Yep. Change your diet. The first thing they should do is stop eating food, period, for like 3 or 4 days. Just stop eating. And then when you start eating back, you eat fruit and vegetables only. And your cycle will adjust itself. There are women in this existence that we're in right now. They have a menstrual cycle, it's 2 drops of blood.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because they eat a great diet.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are vegans. And if they eat anything, it might be some beans. But other than that, they don't eat this slop and this poison, causing their menstrual flow to be out of sequence and out of order.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around the world a day or two. So I know a whole lot of stuff, and I'm just here to share it. But that's the reality of what I've experienced over the years. Most women who eat, my wife, right here, she'll fast with me. When she's fasting, her cycle might be 2 days. If 2 days, maybe 3. That's it. It's a wrap. Whereas a normal is like 4, maybe 5. The process of the dam, flowing. After that, 2 days, it's a wrap. And she come back, oh, hey, what's going on? But she understands. It's because she's been fasting and her diet has changed, and your body is not, those chemicals that your body used to get, it's not getting it, and you're living a healthier life. Therefore, your system is healthier. And if you're a sister and you got a heavy flow, your body is definitely telling you to change your diet.
Mm-hmm.
I've had.
You want to come back up?
No, I've been talking to someone who had that issue, and there's a whole lot of young girls that have that issue, and especially now after things happened within the last couple years, that it's been like, immense.
It's all over the place.
But I did advise her to change her diet, and dairy was one thing she had to. I said, you might be having it might be an allergic reaction too, because we think of allergic reaction as something that pops out on your skin, or maybe something that affects your breathing, but it can affect other organs, So she stopped dairy, period. Stopped dairy. And then she found that, the first couple of months it started, less and less, and it started regulating. But you have to be patient, because this is something that you have dealt with almost all your life from the time you start your period. So you have to be patient with it. We are in this society where everything is instant. We have a pain, we take a medication and we think it's gone, but you have to be patient with it, because the body is regulating. And so right now she is doing a lot better with that area, and hopefully she'll stay on. And whenever she kind of veers off and maybe eat something that she wasn't supposed to eat, it floods back. So I know that so she's thinking, okay, maybe dairy. I said it can be other things too. You just have to be vigilant with what you eat.
Your body will tell you.
Yes,
absolutely. You got to be able to listen.
Yeah, but she's still on this instant thing. Okay, I quit dairy and that's it. Right. No, you definitely have to do other things to help your body. So I totally agree with you that diet thing is of most important. I don't know about the KAIN thing though. I know KAIN is good, but that would be another challenge.
Yeah, may the Most High be praised. She can eat some KAIN too. Just put on her food and eat it that way. But let me share something else with y'all. Another thing that you would have to cut out your diet, well, forget meat, period. But a thing that you should cut out your diet that a lot of people don't know about is bread. You already know you can't eat no sugar, white sugar, brown sugar, purple sugar. Don't eat it. Sugar is no good. Stay away from it. And bread is another one where they get a lot of chemicals in bread, and we consume that, the emulsifiers. A lot of the things in bread is bad, crude, harsh for the bodies. And if you eat bread, eat like Ezekiel bread with no flour. Don't have any flour in it. If you're going to eat bread, eat something like that.
Mhm. I did want to say, like what you were saying about the diet. I definitely agree with that, but I also do understand that depending on how bad a woman's diet is, even when she changes her diet, if she has grown fibroids or what they call, and what you were saying of the uterus, they basically scraping the endometrius, because when the endometrium thickens, especially it's all in the cycle and everything. But what happens is a lot of women who may have too many hormones at one time, the endometrium will thicken more, and basically you bleed out of your time. And this also forms the fibroids. And in some cases, and I won't say all, but in some cases, you can cure fibroids naturally, holistically, depending on how big they are, where they are, because a fibroid, I did this in gardening one year with some sisters. I showed them how if you have a root in your garden and how the root spreads out and it attacks different things, that's what a fibroid does. And sometimes you can go into your doctor and have an ultrasound and it looks at the fibroid, and you might get a DNC done, which is called a dilation and curettage, which is what the scraping is, right? And you go in and you get that. They only got maybe 2 or 3 of the fibroids from that, sometimes from that root. But if you continuously have that bleeding, that means in some cases, because I'm not, can't speak for everybody, but I know working at the GYN office, this is what I've seen, that fibroid is a root. And a lot of times it's on the back of your uterus, so they can't even see it on the ultrasound because of where it forms. It hides itself. It's very sneaky and tricky. And so a lot of times some women have had to go and get their whole uterus removed because that fibroid is embedded into their uterus at this point. And a lot of times it's because over so many years they've had a very bad diet of eating sugar, meat, dairy. And what AIM brought up about the dairy is most, and this has been clarified, most Black people are what do you call that? They can't have dairy.
Lactose intolerant.
Thank you. Lactose. Yes. So when that happens, like we got to think about all those different hormones is why one, your cycle is heavy. Like my daughter, like there's times when her cycle is outrageously heavy. And then if she doesn't eat chicken, which I've been trying to get her to just quit, period, her cycle's different the next month. And she'll call me and say, oh, I didn't eat this before my cycle. And I'm like, yeah, even drinking alcohol can make your cycle heavy because all those different things, it causes the endometrium and all that stuff to open up more. And it causes it to have a pressure in it that it's not supposed to have. So it pushes more stuff out than it needs to at the time. So that's another part of the woman's cycle is we don't even get that. Every month we are releasing waste, but we're not supposed to get rid of so much at one time, because that's why you get real super weak. A lot of women have anemia during that time because they are depleting too much blood during that time. Too many eggs are being depleted, and then you have infertility very early. So it's just a whole lot of different scientific things that go into a woman's diet and bleeding out of time outside of just and some of it does come with age. I know a lot of people think a woman only gets her menopause in her 50s, but like I've seen women in their 20s go through menopause, and a lot of that has to do with, like we are saying, what our eating habits. And I can say, like, whenever I fast, I feel like I don't even feel like I normally feel when I'm on my separation time. And I don't even feel as groggy. I don't get headaches, all those different things. So, if we want to feel better, we do have to look at all those things. And really think about why. But what AIM was saying too, when you do get to a certain age, though, there are times when you're just going to have bleeding, because when your menopause starts, you don't have a regular cycle, and it will be out of control for a while until you stop. But you literally, women just have to really know their bodies and look for those signs, and then ask for assistance. Go see your gynecologist, or ask another elder woman or another sister that may know, so that you're not playing a guessing game and then going popping pills or doing things. And like people posted in the chat, birth control affects your bleeding during your cycle. I mean, there's a shot called Depo-Provera, and it's like a hormone shot, and you get it every 3 months. So that's 3 months of hormone going into your body at one time. And I've had patients come in and they're bleeding for months at a time, because that's too much hormones going in your body at one time. But because, society is like, hey, take this, do this, and do all this, it throws off your whole pH balance, your whole hormone levels. All these different things is what causes women to go into, like I said, infertility, menopause early, off balance with their hormonal imbalances, all these different things, miscarriages, stillbirths, double births, triple births, like all these have an effect, and we don't know why, but it all pertains to all of that. So
Okay. Well, may the Most High be praised. Did we all give a commandment? Okay, sis, you got a commandment to give?
Yeah.
All right.
Hi again, guys. My commandment is Bamidbar, or Numbers 6, verses 13 and 18. I thought these were really interesting. But and it says, in the day, and this is the Torah of the Nazarite. When the days of his separation are completed, he is brought to the door of the tent of appointment, and he shall bring his offering to Yahweh, one male lamb a year old, a perfect one, as an ascending offering, and one ewe lamb a year old, a perfect one, as a sin offering, and one ram, a perfect one, as a peace offering, and a basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mixed with oil, and unleavened thin cakes anointed with oil, and their grain offering with their drink offerings. So last week I brought out, I think it was Leviticus 17, where it says basically, when you are doing your offering, you have to bring it to the door of the tent of appointment, or else it is rendered null and void. You basically just killed an animal for nothing. So not only is your previous transgression not atoned for, but now you have just added on to a transgression, because now you've killed an animal basically for no reason, because you didn't do the due diligence of following through and bringing it to the door of the tent of appointment. And I thought that it was interesting, especially in verse 13, where it says, when the Nazarite vow is completed, that he has to bring these things also to the door of the tent of appointment, or else they're not counted. And I would have to do a little bit of research, but I thought it was interesting that they have different types of offerings as well. There's the ascending offering, then the sin offering, and then also the peace offering. And some of the grain offerings were also mixed with the peace offering, which was the ram, I believe. So I thought that was really interesting. But then on 18, it says, and the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tent of appointment. So at the door, they have to shave their head, and shall take their hair from their head of his separation, and shall put it on the fire, which is under the slaughtering of the peace offerings. So during the Nazarite vow, they're not allowed to cut their hair or shave their hair at all. They have to grow their hair out. But when the vow is done, they then have to cut that hair at the tent of appointment, and they have to burn it. And it reminded me of just a lot of women in general, mostly women, but not only women. Hair is a very spiritual thing, and it holds a lot of energy. And oftentimes you find when somebody wants to cleanse themselves of either something of their past, or they're looking to basically do a fresh start, they end up cutting their hair. And a lot of the times you'll hear people say that their hair has certain energies attached to it because of the things that they've gone through while they were growing their hair. So I thought that it was really significant and interesting that the Most High would have the Nazarites completely shave their heads and cut off all their hair at the door of the tent of appointment as an offering, because they are basically giving that sacrifice that they did during the Nazarite vow, not eating certain things of the vine, doing certain things that they they were commanded to do during that Nazarite vow. He was basically saying, okay, now give that back to me. That sacrifice that you made, all of those, that discipline and that determination, I want that back. And so they had to offer that hair that was attached to that vow as an offering. And so I thought that was cool.
May the Most High be praised. Remember how we spoke earlier about witches and warlocks and people who worship the adversary, how they give of themselves. They go through that physical offering to bring about spiritual things. Same thing, family. That's all that is. That's all that is. You had to give up that physical hair, take on that embarrassment of walking around with it was a shameful thing for our forefathers to walk around with a bald head and shaven face. It was an embarrassment. Now today, people do it as a hobby. They don't care about walking around with bald heads. It's a style. Black people too.
No, it's like we're following the white people.
Yeah, because we're following the white people. That's right. But these things are needed and necessary in order to get spiritual growth and development in the spiritual realm from the Almighty. And the spirit.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, he got up though. And the spirit realm is, like I say all the time, the spirit realm is a zillion times stronger than the physical realm. A zillion times stronger. So we gotta learn these spiritual techniques. I'll be trying to teach you, but you're scared of me. Yeah, you're scared of Prince, but that's okay. Prince gonna keep on moving. All right. Are there any more? Okay, Ima.
It reminded me when she said the burning of the hair. I mean, it doesn't have anything necessary to do with it. But growing up, when my mom would do our hair and the excess hair in the comb, she wouldn't let us throw it away in the trash. She would tell us to burn it.
Yeah, you're supposed to burn it.
They'll take
Yeah.
your stuff and try to do witchcraft on you using your hair.
Yeah, and then, or she would say like a bird might come get you. Like it was just crazy, like old sayings. But
Yeah.
I remember burning the hair was like so important. And
Mom's a spiritual woman too, so you have to accept that.
Mm-hmm.
And a bird might come get it and make a nest out of it. Yeah, and then you all messed up.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say voodoo, but I say it really works. It's real stuff.
It's spiritual.
Yeah, spiritual matters. Just got to be careful. All right, is that it? Everybody gave a commandment?
Okay.
All right, what time is it? 5:52. It's 6 o'clock, man. Y'all want to go forward or y'all want to call it a wrap? Y'all tell me what y'all want to do. The first three people, let me know what y'all want to do. Call it a wrap. Now, it's got to be the first three people on the list, on the sidebar. Tell me what y'all want to do. Are we going to continue class?
The sidebar.
Or y'all want to call it a quits for the day? Now, if we continue class, we're going to be doing Genesis chapter 4. If we call it quits, we'll do Genesis chapter 4 next week. Yeah, the sidebar, the comments on the side.
Oh, so our votes don't count. Okay.
No, y'all don't count. It's the secret audience, the people in the family and the audience.
Well, one says wrap it up.
Huh?
I see one. Oh, we don't count. Well, I'm gonna go in the audience and I'll be back.
Chief Malak says that's a wrap, but you don't count, Chief. Forward. All right, we got one.
Then you don't have anybody.
No, because he was on the podium.
Then you have no one.
We got one. Sister Sukari said go forward.
No, okay.
Look at that. Wrap up. Chief said wrap up, but Chief, you don't count no more. You was up here with us. That's the privilege you have. Come on, we need two more people. Go forward or wrap it up. We got 1,800 people in the room, and we can't get three people to participate. Rather, you want to continue? Wrap it. No, Sakari, that don't matter, Sakari. You're right here. Come on, we need two more people. Two more people. Is it a wrap or are we going forward? We got one going forward. So I guess we really only need one more person to say yes. If one more person say we're going forward, then we're going forward. If the other person says it's a wrap, then we need one more person after that.
With some weird.
If you've been on the podium at all, you don't count. Nah, you don't count.
Well, that would be nobody in the comments besides
I don't believe nobody ain't commenting. We only need 2 more people to comment. Rather, you want to continue with class, Genesis chapter, or you want to take a break and we'll just wrap it up and then get back to it next week. It's all about the family. Whatever y'all say, that's what we can do.
I think telepathically they're saying wrap it up.
Telepathically ain't working. My telepathic antenna ain't on.
Tune in.
Oh, y'all, 2 more people. We can't get 2 people to say yes or no. Wow. I see they dropping off.
When did you start the only comments? Because before everybody could vote. That's how you. That's not.
It don't make no sense.
I guess I'm gonna have to make an executive decision.
Oh gosh, it's a democracy.
I guess I'm gonna have to make an executive decision because nobody's speaking up.
See y'all next week.
What we're trying to determine, family, is if we want to have continued class because it's 6 o'clock. So we want to know if we're going to go forward with class, which is Genesis chapter 4, or we're going to stop here and call it a wrap.
Baby.
So we'll need people that don't normally say nothing to speak up, or people who do say something normally but haven't been on the podium. We need 2 people to speak up.
Then you don't have anybody.
Sister Ornette, are you in the audience, Sister Ornette?
On the podium.
But not today, she wasn't.
Oh, no, that don't count.
All right, we're going to have class, y'all. Since nobody ain't speaking up, Prince going to speak up, and we going forward.
Y'all, baby.
Nobody ain't saying nothing. We going to do Genesis.
You just changed the rules that quick.
Hey, I try to give them the opportunity to speak.
No, I'm saying you changed the rules.
Queen Fari.
You don't have that much engagement.
There you go. Queen Fari gave it a go. There you go, y'all. Go ahead, sis. That's what I'm talking about. Queen Fari said, let's go. So we can get it in.
Queen Fatima.
All right. So here we go. Who do we have as a reader for today? Who's going to read for us today?
All those who voted yes. Come on the platform and read.
If they come on the platform, does that mean they vote no longer count?
All you voters, come on the platform.
All right, family, let's all turn to Genesis chapter 4. Do we have any for today?
I'm here.
All right, bro. That's what I'm talking about. See that? Y'all see that, sisters?
You giving no choice.
That's what I'm talking about. They ducking and hiding and dodging. That's right, Sister Queen Fatima. I'm talking about what's the change?
The change is that we all could vote. Today, he decides only the commenters can vote, but not if you've been on the podium today.
Nah, y'all ain't never been able to vote.
Yes, we have.
Right. Well, I tell you what. We're going to do Genesis chapter 4. And if you don't want to stay, you can go. Nobody ain't going to never make you do nothing around here you don't want to do. All right? Ain't going to never make nobody do anything they don't want to do. So if you don't want to be here, you ain't got to stay. If you want to be here, let's get it in. This is the time. Y'all ready?
We ready.
This is the time.
Let's go.
May the Most High be praised. Boy, oh boy.
You're looking at yourself.
All right. Oh, now you with me, huh, Chief? Okay. Let's rock and roll.
Me too.
Oh, now you with me.
Let's go.
Brother Asa, you ready to roll, Brother Asa?
And all the people came back. Yeah,
Genesis 4, verse 1.
Let's give them something they ain't used to. Y'all know the name of this lesson? It's called The Twins. Why is this chapter called The Twins? Anybody got an idea?
Yeah.
Why? I know you know, because you've been around a long time. Anybody know why this chapter is called the twins? Who? This, she's sitting up here talking about Cain and Abel.
Jacob and Esau.
What about Cain and Abel? They had twins? Cain did. What you talking about? All right, come on. Abel ain't had no children. Abel got killed. So let's see what this is all about. Y'all ready?
Yes. Yes, Prince.
All right, let's rock and roll. You
Genesis
got the floor, Brother Asa.
Genesis 4 verse 1. And Adam knew Hawa his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I've gained a man, Most High. And again she gave birth to his brother Abel, and Abel became a keeper of sheep, but Cain became a tiller of the ground.
All right, now watch this, family. That sister right there wasn't far off. She was right on point and didn't know it. All right. So here's the Hebrew word for what we just read. With Tosef. And Tosef means, and she did it again. Well, Tosef means to repeat, to do again. Okay? So this is the second. This is 4 and 1. Brother Asa, read 4. This is 4 and 2. Brother Asa, please read 4 and 1.
And Adam knew Hawa his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have gained a man.
Bore Cain. She bore Cain. And then she did it again. She had another child. Cain and Abel were twins. They were twin brothers. Yes.
That's deep.
That's deep. And then again, that's right. And that's what happened. Cain and Abel were twins. And a lot of people let that slide because they don't even realize, but that's what it was. So that even made it even worse that he killed his brother and they were twins. That's something deep.
Because they literally shared the same exact DNA.
That's right. Wow. Read on, please, and let's travel. Now, I need y'all to put your thinking caps on because we're going to introduce you to some stuff that you may never heard before. Just go research it, check it out, bring it back, and show us where we're wrong. Let's go. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we continue, please go like, please go share the page to your Facebook, your YouTube, your Instagram, whatever you got. Please go like and share and then ring the bell. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Because more people need to get this message. More people need to begin to hear this truth. And more people's eyes need to be awakened to the glory and the power and the might of this majestic King that we serve. May the Most High be praised. Whenever you're ready, Brother Asa, let's rock and roll.
3. And it came to be in the course of time that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to the Most High.
Now stop for a second. Cain and Abel was just born. How did they get old enough all of a sudden to start bringing offerings to the Most High? It says what? Come up here, please. Come up here, please. What did it say?
In the course of time.
Now, what does that mean?
That means like time had passed.
So what happened within that time?
They grew up.
You think that Adam and Eve stopped having sex?
No.
They still having sex, ain't they?
I doubt
They probably still producing children too, ain't they?
Yeah.
In that process of time.
Okay.
But so many people miss out on that word in the process of time. So many things happen in that process of time. Let's read on, please. Everybody's getting older. Everybody's growing and everybody's doing whoopee. Read on.
And Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat.
Now, watch this. And Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Most High. Now, there's a prolific teacher that you all may be aware of or accustomed to. And if you're not, you need to find out who he is. His name is Dr. Moray Yoel. Do you guys know Dr. Moray Yoel? Well, y'all probably need to be introduced to Dr. Moray Yoel. Some time ago, Dr. Moray Yoel and myself, we used to always have conversation over this part of the scripture. And we came up with the conclusion that this is what happened. Watch what takes place. Cain brought his offering of the fruit of the ground, but the fruit of the ground was just cursed by the Creator. Abel brought of his offerings the firstling of livestock with the life of blood within them. Why was Cain's offering not accepted by the Almighty? He gave it to that.
Because the ground was cursed.
Because the ground was just cursed. He brought a cursed thing to the Most High and offered it to the Creator as an offering. The ground was cursed. Go back into the last chapter when the Creator handed out punishment. He said thorns and thistles and all type of things is going to breed to you. Curse shall be the ground on your sake, Adam, for your sin. In the sweat of your brow you shall work the earth. It is going to bring forth thorns and thistles and hard things to you. Well, that's the understanding that we got at that time. Read on, please.
And the Most High looked to Abel
Chapter
and his
verse,
offering.
please, chapter and verse.
Genesis 4, verse 4b. And the Most High looked to Abel and his offering. 5. But he did not look to Cain and his offering. And Cain was very wroth, and his face fell.
So now he looked unto Abel and his offering, and he was pleased. But with Cain and his offering, the Most High didn't have that much favor. As a matter of fact, he didn't much favor it at all. That's how much he didn't like it. And just like a parent, when a parent shows favor to one over the other, that one child seems to get envious of the other child. So now Cain walking around all this time feeling some kind of way about Abel, because earlier when they offered their offering, the Creator or Daddy showed more favor to that one child than he did the other child because he accepted his offering. Cain has something in his mind. There's a lot of Cains walking around today with fringes on. There's a lot of Cains talking about shalom, shalom. Look to your left and look to your right. You can't get past 2 or 3 people without bumping into a Cain. 2 or 3 people, there's a Cain. 1 or 2 people, there's a Cain. 1 person, that's a Cain. They right there in the midst of us, all around us, hating on us, plotting on us. And here we are, Abel's, trying to get the Most High the best of us, but here come Cain. Envious and jealous of the way that the Most High shine his blessings on your life. That's not cool. That's not good. We should all be striving to be Abels. All of us should be striving to be an Abel, except when he got knocked upside his head. Don't strive for that part, because hatred runs deep inside your loins. Envy and jealousy run deep inside your loins. And this is why the Father said for us not to have it. Don't hate your brother, because the Most High knew what the results would be. Read on, please.
And the Most High said to Cain, why is he wroth towards you? And why is your face fallen? Is it not, if you do good, you are to be accepted? And if you do
He asked Cain, why are you wroth? Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance falling? He walking around sad, but he had to live in this condition. It just didn't happen. This was a condition that he invited. He brought it upon himself, just as many of us, because we allow envy, jealousy, and greed to seep in. We become overpopulated with that spirit, and we become negative energies. But the Creator's letting us know that sin lieth at the door, knocking to get in, but you don't have to let it in. You can rule over sin. Do you know that sin is a spirit? Sin is a spirit. To live in sin is a spiritual being. And it's waiting, it's looking for any type of way that it can enter into your beings to bring you away from the Almighty and righteousness. Y'all follow me? Y'all follow me?
Okay.
Okay. Read on, brother. Tell us what
Seven continued. Genesis 4, verse 7 continued. And if you do not do good toward the door is a sin. He is lying, and towards you is desire, and you must rule over him.
His desire, sin's desire, is to rule over you. Sin desire is to rule over you. The adversarial energy is desiring to rule over you. But did you see what it says? He's lying at the door, but you can rule over it. All you have to do is stop telling yourself, I'm not going to be a hater. I'm not going to be a hater. I'm not going to be a hater. I'm not going to let jealousy enter in. And even if jealousy shows its face at your brother and sister in your spirit, you can immediately dismiss it. Well, that's my brother. That's my sister. I'm proud. I'm happy for them. They deserve that. That's a good thing for them. And when you do that, sin will immediately vacate the property. Don't mean he's going to give up, but he will immediately vacate the property. The Creator tells you you can rule over it. Read on, please.
8. And Cain told Abel his brother. And it came to be, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and killed him.
So Cain came, he rose up against his brother in the field and killed him and left him for dead. And nobody's supposed to knew what happened. It was only them two over there. What happened to your brother, Cain? Am I my brother's keeper? That's where that come from. Am I my brother? Who is he talking to, first of all, with his disrespectful tone? It's so disrespectful. Am I my, you go look for him. Am I my, who are you talking to, Cain? Watch. Read on, please.
And the Most High said to Cain, where is Abel your brother? And he said, I do not know. Am I my brother's guard? And he said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground.
Now, the Creator got a lie detector. That lie detector is your dam, your blood. Because your blood ain't going to lie. If you see who kills you, you know who put you to death. The investigators probably can't put the story together. They probably can't figure it out. But your dam, your blood, it ain't going to lie. Remember what the Creator said about the blood? In the blood is the life of an individual. So I thought he just said that he just took Cain's life, Abel's life. Didn't it say he just took Abel's life? But how is his life calling out to him from the earth if he just took his life? See, there's a life after this existence that we don't even pay attention to. Here's a hint right here. What he did by knocking Abel upside the back of the head was he caused this existence of existence to cease for him. But his life went on. And his life went on and bear record to the Most High that his brother actually took him out. Y'all follow me? Read on, please.
11. And now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand.
And now you're cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. Now watch this, family. The earth is in reference to a woman. Adama, it's even in a feminine form. Adama means ground. The earth is in reference to a woman. Now, now thou is cursed from the earth. What does that mean? It means anywhere you go on the earth, you're going to have wickedness preceding you. Wickedness in your life, hard times, struggles, pain, suffering, no matter where you go. But Cain wasn't worried about the earth being a problem for him. He was worried about the other people in the earth being a problem for him. Watch what he says. Read on, please.
If you till the ground.
Tell us where you are, brother.
Verse 12. If you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you.
That was the earth bringing forth a curse unto Cain. When he tilled the ground, it ain't going to bring forth its earth, its strength to him. He didn't care about that. Watch what Cain says. Read on, please.
You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth.
You're going to be a fugitive, a vagabond, and a wanderer on the earth. He was more worried about what the people would do to him as opposed to what the earth would yield forth to him. Do y'all see that? I know you ain't never seen that before. It's okay. He wasn't worried about what the earth wasn't going to do. Remember, the earth was already cursed once. How much more of a curse did it receive when Cain did what Cain did? Read on.
Genesis 4:13. And Cain said to the Most High, my punishment is too great to bear.
That means I can't eat from the earth, and no matter where I go, ain't going to give me no food. So how am I going to bear this, Creator? You are putting extraterrestrial punishment upon me because I can't go to somebody else and get some food because ain't nobody messing with me. I can't plant nothing to get no food because the earth ain't messing with me. Where is the relief for me, oh merciful King? He just had an attitude first. He was getting smart. You know how children get. Am I my brother's keeper? Yeah, you're your brother's keeper. Smack him upside the head. He said, okay, you want to talk like that? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to curse you. Don't go out your room. And guess what? Your brothers and sisters can't bring you no food. Well, how am I supposed to eat? You don't eat. That's the point. Read on, please.
14. See, you have driven me from the face of the ground today, and I am hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and it shall be that anyone who finds me, kill me.
Now, anyone that finds me shall kill me. Well, who's going to kill him if nobody else is on the planet? If ain't nobody else on the planet, who going to kill him? That's right. Why is there other people on the planet? Because of?
He had more children.
Because of?
Adam and Eve.
That's right. The process of time. You got to remember, all this didn't happen in 1 month, not even 1 year. It was a whole process of time that this happened. And they're going to repeat it again. Watch this. Read on, please.
And the Most High said to him, well,
what verse you on?
Oh, Genesis 4, verse 15. And the Most High said to him, well, if anyone kills Cain, vengeance is taken on him sevenfold. And the Most High set up a sign for Cain, lest anyone finding him strikes him.
So nobody was supposed to kill Cain. Nobody. There were people there in the earth at that time that Cain feared because he knew that these people would come up against him. The earth wasn't producing any food for him, so he couldn't get no food. He couldn't go to these people for help. The Most High put a curse on him and put a mark upon him and said, anybody killing him, I'm going to get you. Why did the Most High do that if this man just killed his brother?
He had to bear that punishment. He had to take on that. You got to, it's too easy to take him out.
Absolutely. But why did the Most High just put that shield of protection around him so that nobody would kill him?
So that the other person wouldn't bear his punishment.
So that the other person wouldn't bear his. Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If someone does a crime,
mm-hmm.
in the Hebrew law, if somebody kills somebody,
mm-hmm.
right, and they get away and they run somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me what the law say. What the law say? And what happens in the city of refuge?
They can hide out.
They can hide out, and nobody can come to the city of refuge to kill you.
Right.
That's right. Same thing with Canaan. Same thing taking place. The Most High has given him an opportunity to change his ways. And guess what? He does exactly that. Now think about this for a minute. That conversation was over a process of time too. Mm-hmm. When Cain first started having conversation with the Most High, he had a nasty attitude. Am I my brother's keeper? I ain't worried about what happened to my brother. That was his attitude. Him and the Most High had a talk. Time went on. The Most High visited him. The Most High talked with him. Right? The Most High had a conversation with him. Cain's attitude starts changing. And the Most High sees that. And now Cain is now worried about who's going to kill Cain. Cain wants to live. Cain is like all of you. You done did your sin. You realize you did wrong. And now you ask the Most High for mercy and forgiveness. And that's what he was doing. The Most High is most merciful. So for you to question why he allowing Cain to live, only the Most High can answer that, because he's most merciful. Things take place in creation that you don't understand. The Most High let Cain live more lives or more years after he killed his brother. It's a process of time. Cain himself is changing. He's maturing. You ain't the same person you was when you was 15 years old, is you?
Nope.
You're 19 now. You ain't the same person you was at 19. You're 25 now. You ain't the same person you were at 25. What makes Cain any different? The problem is the story of Cain and Abel is condensed. And people tend to think there was one conversation after another conversation after another conversation, and it wasn't. It was a process of time. It was a process of time. Things happened, things developed, people lived, people grew, people made whoopee and had children. People started having nations of people in different pockets. Cain himself began to have children. Read on, please, and watch what happens.
Genesis 4:16. So Cain went out from the presence of the Most High and dwelt in the land of Nod and on the east of Eden. And
What do you
Cain
mean he went out? Wait a minute, bro. Slow down. What do you mean he went out from the presence of the Most High and dwelt east in Nod, in the garden, next to the garden? What does all that mean? Read on, please.
17. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Hanok.
Wait a minute. Where Cain get a wife from?
His
If
sister.
they were the only ones on the earth, where did Cain get a wife from?
His sister.
Say it again.
His sister.
She had to be a family member, a sister, a cousin, an aunt. Well, couldn't have been an aunt. A sister, a niece, a nephew, somebody. But it had to be a family member. You follow me? Why? How do we know that it had to be a family member? Because of the process of time. Time elapsed. People began to migrate and have places in the earth where they lived after they was born from Haba, who was the mother of all living, as the scripture calls her, who was the mother of all living. After that, they begin to have other sons and daughters, and you're going to hear about them later. Read on, please.
Genesis 4:17 continued. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Hanok.
So he built a city, and he called the name of the city after his son. Where did it say Cain had any children at?
He said he laid with his wife.
Yeah, I know. I know. But where does it say he had any children? Now, here it is. He got a wife. He's conceiving. She's conceiving. And she bore Enoch. And he named the whole city after his son, Enoch. Well, time has elapsed in all of this over and over and over and over. A lot of things has been done. People who don't understand this say simple that there was other people on the earth. Adam and Eve wasn't the first people. Then that would mean that the Bible is lying when it says that Eve was the mother of all living. That would mean the Bible was lying. It's just that simple. Read on, please.
And to Hanok was born Irad. Verse
Irad.
18. Genesis 4, verse 18. And to Hanok was born Irad. And Irad brought forth Mehuel. And Mehuel brought forth Methuselah. And Methuselah brought forth Lamech. And Lamech took for himself 2 wives.
What? How many wives? Lamech was cool. Lamech said, I want 2 women. Lamech wasn't playing. Somebody asked me that the other day. She said, if the creation story, if the creator wanted man to have more than one wife, how come they didn't do it in the book of Genesis? I said, what you talking about? She said, in the beginning of creation, they only had 1 wife. Read the story. Everybody only had 1 wife. I said, I see you don't read too clear. You can't see too good. I said, Canaan had a grandson who had 2 wives, and he was the first one that went on record with multiple wives. His name was Lamech. He had multiple Nashim. That's right. But something else I want to draw your attention to. Do you notice the names of his children? Enoch, Mahalalel, Methuselah. Lamech. Who was Lamech? Anybody know who Lamech was? He was Noah's dad. That's right. See, Seth is about to be born. And Seth is going to have a generation of children also. And Seth's generation of children are going to have the same name, just like.
I was just about to say that, because
Going to have the same names, the same lineage, just like Canaan's children had. All right? So read on. Matter of fact, Seth probably already is born. He may already be born, but we're going to read about his birth in a few. Yes.
So wouldn't that be a different Lamech then? Because the
It's
Lamech
absolutely a
of
different
Noah-
Lamech. Yes. The Lamech of Noah came through Seth. Yes. That's why I mentioned Seth. Aim?
I'm not sure what the scripture says that when Adam was, what is it, 300 something years? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure how old they were.
Does that mean, to me, right? Because it says when they were a certain amount of age, they had these two people. That does not mean that they didn't have other children.
That's exactly right. It doesn't.
You know.
It only goes
focuses on
with, that's
those
right.
two.
And it only brings out the attention of them particular
Yeah.
ones. And that's it. Because that's all that was needed and necessary, because they're the mainstays of the paragraphs of the chapters. Read on, please. I see this story is making sense to a lot of people now. It's unfolding. Read on, please.
Genesis 4:19. And Lamech took for himself 2 wives. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the second was Silla. And Ada bore Yabal. He was the father of those who dwell in tents with livestock. And his brother's name was Yubal. He was the father of all those who play the lyre and flute. As for Silla, she also bore Tubal Cain.
Tubal-Cain.
A smith.
Tubal-Cain, still up for a second.
Yeah.
Tubal-Cain was the most famous of them all. You know what Tubal-Cain did? He made weapons. He was wealthy. He made money. Tubal-Cain wasn't no joke. Tubal-Cain, his name exists in the Masonic order. Tubal-Cain. Anybody that's an Eastern Star or a Mason, ask them about Tubal-Cain. Maybe they'll tell you, maybe they won't. Read on, please.
It's simple. I just want to say, I realize music was made before weapons.
Yes,
So,
music was made.
music is very
very
important.
good. That's a good analogy.
Right. As for Silla, she also bore Tubal Cain, a smith of all kinds of tools in bronze and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Nahama.
Naama. Uh-huh.
And Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Silla, hear my voice. Wives of Lamech, listen to my words, for I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me.
Now watch his comparison.
Verse 24. For Cain is avenged sevenfold, and Lamech 77fold.
He said, if Cain is avenged sevenfold, then I did twice as bad as Cain. So multiply mine by 10. 770 folds. Read on, please.
Verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again.
He
and she
knew
bore
her
a
again. And she bore a son.
And called his name Sheth. For Elohim has appointed me another seed instead of Abel, because Cain had killed him.
Uh-huh.
And to Seth, to him also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. Then it was begun to call on the name of Most High.
Oh, down. And Seth, to him also were born a son, and he called his name Enosh. Remember, Cain's first son was named Enoch. Seth's, which meant substitute. The word Seth means substitute because he substituted for Abel. That's right. His name was Enosh. Then began, when Enosh was born, then began men to call upon the name of the Most High. That is so important. Say it again, Aim. And what happened? They forgot about the Creator. Whole generation was gone. And they was going, and nobody wasn't giving glory and honor to the Most High until Seth had his children and Enosh was born. Then men began to call on the name of the Creator. Did y'all see that? Did y'all know that the name of the Most High was absent from the earth at that time? Did y'all know that?
Cain.
Oh, y'all did. Y'all sharp, huh? All right. So let's see. Let's go to 5.
Genesis 5, verse 1.
Mhm.
This is the book of the genealogy of Adam. In the
The
day
book,
that
now watch this because you got to be real careful. This is the book of the genealogy of Adam. Now watch this. Pay close attention because something strange is going to take place in here. Read, please.
in the day that Elohim created man, he made him in the likeness of Elohim. Verse 2. Male and female he created them, and he blessed them and called their name Adam in the day they were created.
So it's talking about all mankind, right? In the day that they was created, he called their name, man, Adam, or human race. Read on, watch this.
Verse 3. And Adam lived 130 years and brought forth a son in his own likeness after his image, and called his name Sheth.
Wait a minute. What happened to Cain? Cain was the first one. Abel is not even mentioned because he created a man in his own image, after his own likeness. Y'all following me right now? The reason why they're not mentioned because this is the sacred bloodline. They're getting ready to give us the sacred bloodline history. There was nothing righteous about Cain and his children. Abel had got killed early in life. Cain and his children wasn't nothing righteous about Cain and his children. Cain did try to change his behavior, but it didn't matter because he wasn't considered to be of a righteous seed. They're getting ready to give you the righteous seed. And that's why they're not mentioning the other side of the family. Read on, please. Watch what happens.
Genesis 5, verse 4. And after he brought forth Sheth, the days of Adam were 800 years.
You move too fast, please. Do 3, please.
Verse 3. And Adam lived 130 years and brought forth a son in his own likeness after his image, and called his name Sheth.
Now Adam lived 130 years and had another son, and his name was Seth, a man in his likeness and his image that was like him, pure, calling on the Most High, playing with the Almighty. Out of Cain's lineage, he was the only one that spoke with the Almighty. Nobody else in Cain's lineage had a relationship with the Creator. It wasn't until Seth was born that the name of the Most High began to be called on again in the earth. I can't hear you, Aim.
So he has been producing women. I mean,
No, he had sons.
children.
Yeah, we see where he had sons.
No, I'm talking about females
Well, he had daughters too.
in between.
Yeah,
Between,
that's true.
You know, because they needed wives too.
That's true. Read on, please.
Genesis 5, verse 5. So all the days, verse 4. And after he brought forth Sheth, the days of Adam were 800 years, and he brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died.
You know, it never tells us how many sons and daughters Adam had. All it says is that he had them, and he had a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Other sons and daughters. Yes?
The people who around for like 900 years, and you've only been around for what, 39 3/4.
So what was we saying, y'all? What was we saying before? Iman, what was you saying?
I have a question. So you said that he didn't mention Cain and Abel at this part of the story, right?
Yes.
And he said he made Shet or Seth after his likeness.
Yes.
So would it be far-fetched to say that Cain and Abel were basically almost in a way cursed because the way that they came, when they had Cain and Abel, it came about after they did that curse thing after?
No, I would have to disagree with that because everybody would be cursed.
Okay.
Yeah. He came in his likeness and his image, having communication and conversations with the Creator.
Okay.
That's what he meant.
Okay.
And none of Cain's children or Cain did that. Well, Cain did it in the beginning, but then he
Mhm.
fell off when he went from the presence of the Creator. Remember when
Right.
it said that? He
Yeah.
went from so when he went from the presence of the Most High was when he ceased
left.
that conversation with the Almighty.
Right.
Read on, please.
And Seth, verse 6, and Seth lived 105 years and brought forth Enosh. And after he brought forth Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all
And
the days,
Seth lived after he begot Enosh 807 years and begot sons and daughters. He was still having children. This earth had to get populated, and they wasn't stopping. Read on, please.
verse 8, so all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died.
And he died. And
And
Seth begot Enos.
And Enosh lived 90 years and brought forth Canaan. And after he brought forth Canaan, Enosh lived 815 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died.
905 years, and he died. So
Verse
we got
12.
Seth, we got Enos, we got Canaan, and then Canaan, go ahead.
12. And Canaan lived 70 years and brought forth Mahalalel.
Mahalalel.
And after he brought forth Mahalalel, Canaan lived 840 years and brought forth sons and daughters.
Mm-hmm.
So all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died.
Uh-huh.
And Mahalalel lived 65 years and brought forth Yered.
Brought forth who?
Yered.
Now, this is when men began to multiply on the face of the earth. Why did I stop you here? I stopped you here because Yered means to fall. Yered means to fall. But yet this Yered was a righteous man. So what fell? What happened to fall at this particular time? You'll find it out next week in class. Read on, please.
16. And after he brought forth Yered, Mahalalel lived 830 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died.
And Yered lived.
And Yered lived 162 years and brought forth Hanok. And after he brought forth Hanok, Yered lived 800 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Yered were 962 years, and he died. Verse 21. And Hanok lived 65 years and brought forth Methuselah. And after he brought forth Methuselah, Hanok walked with Elohim 300 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Hanok were 365 years.
Did Enoch die?
And Hanok walked with Elohim, then he was no more, for Elohim took him.
He never died.
Yeah.
And from there, they created this big book called the Book of Enoch.
Mm-hmm.
They got all these mystical stories, and all this stuff is happening in the Book of Enoch, and all these mystical calculations and a whole lot of old other stuff. It's a good thing the Most High says, if it ain't according to the law and the testimony, then that's because there's no truth in it. Read on, please. And so many people follow the Book of Enoch, and it takes us all the way in left field, and we don't have to. Read on, please.
And what about the 365 years?
Man, you ain't gonna start. Go ahead.
Okay, continue. Verse 24. And Hanok walked with Elohim, then he was no more, for Elohim took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years and brought forth Lamech. And after he brought forth Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died.
All the days of Methuselah was 969 years, and then he died.
Right. 28. And Lamech lived 182 years and brought forth a son, and called his name Noah, saying, This one does comfort us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Most High has cursed. And after he brought forth Noah, Lamech lived 595 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah brought forth Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
And Noah was 500 years, and Noah brought forth Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ain't that wonderful? May the Most High be praised. So Noah brought forth Shem, Ham, and Japheth. I had to sit down. My computer was going dead, my battery, and I didn't have an extension cord, so I had to sit down. All right, we're going to stop there, and we're going to have our after class conversation. All right. Now, brother, you want to ask a question?
Well, I'd like to know the meaning of all the names of these guys, you know, to see what it's saying to us.
Man, I can't give you the meaning of anybody's name. You got to look that up.
But it will be important for us to know.
Huh?
And a very good individual study.
Say it again.
It will be a very good individual study for us to find out the names of these individuals.
Absolutely. But Yer, don't forget Yer, which means to fall. We're going to find out what that is in the next chapter. But I don't know the names. I don't know what the definitions of the names are for all of these men. And any other questions? You mentioned something about 365 something.
Oh, okay. Yes, well, we know that the year, the Julian year that we use is 365 days. And we recognize that 365 is the number of years that Hanok lived. So I'm just wondering if there's a relation in that.
No, I don't know about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. There may be some symbolism to it, but not that I know of. I'm not aware of it. If it is something, then you will be educating me to it. Let me think for a second. 365 having any relations to the days of Enoch in his life? No, I don't recall that, bro.
Okay. I still want to look on Hanok. He walked with Elohim. What is this walk about compared to the walk that Adam had?
Well, Adam's walk ceased at a certain point in time when he died. Enoch didn't die. Enoch was taken by the Most High. Him and Elijah are the only two individuals that never seen death, that did not taste death. Now, there's folklore. Now, I gotta step outside of Torah now. I don't like to do that, but in order for me to explain this to you, I got to step outside of Torah. All right. There is a teaching. Any of you ever traveled in mysticism? I don't know how many of you like to travel like that, but I'm all over the place in that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a book called the Kabbalah. Anybody ever heard of Kabbalah?
Okay.
All right. Gematria. Okay, Brother Asa. There you go. In the Kabbalah, it speaks of a man called, I forgot the brother's name. Oh, man. No, that's a location. Those are things. Metatron. Speaks of somebody needs to go on mute. It speaks of a man named Metatron. And they say that Metatron rules in the heavens by the Creator's permission. And that Metatron was Enoch in his past life. And when he was taken from the Creator and moved up into the heavens, he took his position as vice chairman or as an overseer in the heavens, as a being of nobility in the heavens, Metatron. Say it again?
I think that's what Enoch 3 says.
Oh, yeah? I'm not sure. Yeah. But that's what it's supposed to be. And that's who he's supposed to be, Enoch. He went on with the Creator and became a new name, a new title in a new place, and it's called Metatron. Metatron. All right? So that's what I can tell you about Enoch. Any other questions?
Oh, but you said Jared means fallen?
Yes, to fall. Yeah. Yeah. Did you look it up?
Yeah, I'm looking them up.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, family?
Okay, regarding the length of years that Adam lived, it was like 930, and there is David that lived 70 years. So when we total those, it goes to 1,000 years. So I'm reminded of, well, we look at 1,000 years like a very long time. And it brings the question, why did they have to live so long, and why has it been so significantly cut in today, the number of years lifespan?
Why did they live so long?
And why it is so short now, significantly?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why they lived so long. The food was better. It wasn't processed. They wasn't eating this poison that we eating today. So that's one reason why they lived so long. The air was better. They were closer to a natural lifestyle, way closer than what we are today. And we got people live to be 120, 130 years old today, even today. Very few, but we have them out there that lives to be that old. Very few. But if we ate good food, breathe clean air, and the pathogens are not in the air like they are now, we would live a long time too, old as the trees. The Most High said that time is coming back again, that we will be able to live as old as the trees again. It's a whole lot of things, intricate things that took place in that lifetime that allow them to live as long as they live. But if you notice, it starts getting shorter and shorter after the flood. Before the flood, they live a long time. After the flood, the lifespan was cut less than half. 120 years. Because the Most High says that's the most a man gonna give up, 120. And after the flood, they started dropping off earlier. Are there any other questions or comments, family?
Yes, I'm exhausting all my questions.
Okay, bro, go ahead.
So I'm seeing where these men, they had their sons before they reached 200. With Noah, no, he waited 500 years before he had his sons.
That's not true.
Well, let's reference the others. It says 130 when Adam was 130, when Seth was 105, when Enosh was 90, when Kenan was 70.
No, hold up, bro. You're mentioning the lineage of the righteous seed. That's what you're mentioning. Doesn't mean that was the only children that they had. They had other sons and daughters. The lineages that we're reading about is when the righteous individuals was born, the men of renown. That's it.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that that's the only ones that Noah and Seth, Adam and Seth had. Doesn't mean that. They had other children. It's just not mentioned because they was irrelevant. They wasn't that important.
So if that is the case, it really took Noah a long time before he started getting a righteous seed or righteous seeds.
Noah's children is a different situation. Noah's children is only mentioning Noah's children. It doesn't mean he had other sons and daughters. I think Noah had 3 children, 3 boys, I believe he had. And I don't know if he had any girls. Noah, I'm not sure if Noah had any girls, but I know he had sons. Let's see. Does it say Noah had daughters? I don't think he had daughters. Let's see. Nope. Shem, Ham, and Yafet. That's it for Noah.
And he had them late.
He commanded them to be fruitful and multiply. That included Noah and his wife.
Yes.
So they may have had other children.
If they did, they should have came with them on the boat.
No, after the flood.
Oh, after the flood? Yeah, they may have had that. Yeah. After the flood, they may have had more children. But prior to that, the only history we have is right here. So, bro, what did I answer your question? I'm not sure.
Well, no, because I'm thinking that he had them late. I was wondering why after 500.
I don't know the answer to that.
Right. And it leads to assume that it takes a long time to get There was something special about Noah. That's all I am picking up.
Let me look at this, because I don't think that means that's when he had them.
The last verse.
Yeah, I see it. Noah was 500 years old. Bain Hamish.
Question.
Until, wait a minute. And he was Noah, Bain Hamish, until Shinnah. Years.
I was just about to ask what Fatima asked. Are they triplets?
Bain Hamish 100. No, I don't think so. They was born in the 500th year. And they got. Okay, maybe it is. Maybe he's 500 years old before he had him. It could be. I can't say if he was or he wasn't, because it's not clear. He was in his 500th year. Bain Hamish is 500 years. And begot, so within 500 years, he begot Shem, Ham, and Noah. Let me see. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Been within, and Noah, and Noah was Bain Hamish, 500 until Shana, till the years. Bain Hamish, 500 years. And begot Noah. Oh, wait a minute. And was Noah. And Noah was old, 500 years old, and begot Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right. And he went Yolek, and he went Noah, and Noah went at Shesh. Noah went years at Haim, we at Yafet. Okay, Shem at Haim, we at Yafesh. All right, Yolad, and Noah birthed. I don't know. And Noah lived 500 years. And then Noah birthed. And it says, and Noah birthed Ham, Shem, Cain, and Japheth. Ham, Cain, Ham, and Japheth. All right, I'll leave it at that. I don't know the answer to that. So I can't answer that question, bro. I don't know.
And you don't think they were triplets?
No, I don't think they are. Because it was within that 500-year time. He could have had them all in 1 year, but we couldn't have had them all in 1 year if he only had one wife.
Yeah.
But in his 500th year, before he became 600, within that 100-year period, he could have had them 3 sons.
Well, I realized I was looking at it to say that whoever is named first is the oldest, in that order. But there's a reference to Shem as being the youngest son in Genesis 9:24. When Noah sobered up and learned what his youngest son had done.
Yeah, but you got to remember that this is talking about the righteous lineage. This is not even talking about the order of their births. This is talking about the righteous lineage. Shem being first, Ham might be the nexus, and the last righteous was Japheth. This was the righteous men being born. So it's not, it shouldn't be according to their birth, because I don't think Shem is older than Japhet. I believe Japhet is the oldest, and then Ham, and then Shem. I believe that's the way it goes. And to be accurate, I can't give you an accuracy on that. We would have to visit the scriptures to find out the accuracy. But what I am accurate about is that this lineage is talking about the righteousness of the individuals. And this is why Shem is mentioned first.
And that also shows you how inaccurate, I guess, movies could be, because in the movies, that's how they do it. Shem, Ham, and Japhet as the oldest to youngest.
Yeah. All right. What's your next question, bro?
That's it.
What? That's it? All right. All right. May the Most High be praised. Are they triplets? No, they're not triplets. All right. Are there any other questions or comments, family? All right. Mahalalel, praise of the Creator. Yer, to fall. Enoch, dedicated. Methuselah, one who was sent. Lamech means powerful. And Noach means rest or repose, or also means comfort. Yeah, Noach also means comfort.
Mm-hmm.
The earth was comforted in his days.
Mm-hmm. Or rest.
Yes.
Can I
Aim, come on up, Aim.
something?
Come on up, Aim. Aim want to add something, family. I like when Aim adds stuff. She start class all over again.
Thinking, because while I was sitting there, I was thinking, when you're giving a story, right, or writing a book, right, you are talking about a plot and all the characters that make up this plot, and it shows you exactly where this book or this story is going, and so all the people that are in this book, that doesn't mean that they were the only people on this planet.
That's right.
Right? It was, for me, it is just talking about us. And
what do you mean us?
I mean, well, the book is about Israel, right? the scripture is basically about Israel, right? And all the characters and the plots that make up this story, right? So doesn't mean that, for instance, Noah, he lived 500 years and begot these. All these people were important in how the Creator wanted us to view Israel's salvation, His plan for the earth, right? But doesn't mean that He didn't have children before that.
The only thing in reference to Noah having other children is they must have been wicked.
Yeah, I mean,
they must have been wicked.
It's generations. So, I mean,
Yeah.
500 years is a lot of years. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they grew up, had their own lives,
They
whatever. But
been
these
wicked.
last, a few, Shem, Ham, and Japhet, this was in this
greatest
generation
The
that,
greatest pick
yeah.
to
So
repopulate the
that is
earth.
my spiel on that, because
I can see that.
I see when you're making a story, a book, you have to have a plot, everything that is included in that plot, because we're going somewhere. There's an end to this story. And so doesn't mean that nothing else existed outside of this story, you know?
I
And
can see that.
Moshe wanted Israel to know, this is us, and this is where we're going. And we're the people that the Most High chose to show the world, you know. So we had to fight against these other adversarial spirits in order to get
Yeah, I can see that.
where we're going.
I can see that. May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah. Any other questions or comments, family? Shabbat shalom, sis. Shabbat shalom. All right, family, are we closing out? Hey, young man, you ready? All right, we're going to make prayer. We're going to close it out. May the Most High be with you all. Here we go. Salakanu Kol Yisrael Ketut Anaknu Osim Lifnei Atah Abi. Salakanu. Great and mighty King, Master of all creation, we humble ourselves before you and we ask for permission to approach unto your throne. Father, we humbly lay ourselves down before thee, asking that thou will guide our ways, guide our minds, guide our steps. For there is a way within a man in which that man feels he's right and he can be wrong. So we need you, O great King, to be our eyes, our ears, our understanding, and bring within our minds your path, your truth, your connection to life that is missing out of our lives. Help and heal us, Almighty One, that we may stand strong in the face of the adversaries and all of those who hate you. Help us to be united as one people, to serve, to honor, and to worship you, to represent you in this lifetime and many years and beyond, many lifetimes beyond, many existences beyond this one here. We are your slaves, Father. We are your servants, Father. We are your children, Father, and we shall obey you to the very best of our abilities forevermore. Please have mercy upon us. Please forgive us for our trespasses and our transgressions against thee, for they be great. There are many things, Father, that we have committed by way of trespass before you. We ask that you will blot out our sins from our sight, from our presence, and don't allow them to block the access that we have unto you, your grace and your mercy and your kindness. Forgive us, Abba, for we have sinned, and we confess our iniquities before thee on this day. Open up our minds that we might be able to receive your power and your might, and give your holy angels charge that they might go before us and prepare the way for our coming, that our lives may change, increase bountifully from this day forth. Unto thee, O great King, we pray. We humbly submit ourselves and surrender ourselves to your will. Please forgive us of our sins, Father. Please. Unto thee, we all say, Toda Abi. Abi, Toda Rabbi. Thank you, Father, for hearing our prayers. Daddy, 3 more. 3 more. May the Most High be praised. May the Most High be praised. Glory be to the King. All right, family. May the Most High be with you all. And if it is his will, next week we'll see you all again. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, mishpacha.
You going crazy over here. Baby kid. Just having the time of his life.
Say Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
He's smiling at the camera.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah.